This is the No More OGs podcast. From controversial topics to creating financial freedom, we will talk to real people about real situations, providing real solutions. No celebrity endorsements. Bringing you unfiltered discussions, dope interviews, and giving you the blueprint to create the culture that you will be proud of. So kick back, turn up the volume, and let's get to it. Here's your host, yours truly, Mr. Purpose on Demand, Mr. Retired at 37, Mr. Tim Jackson. What's going on? It's your man, Tim Jackson. This is the No More OGs podcast. I'm your host, and I'm here today with a special guest. You guys know we don't have any celebrity endorsements on this show. I want to bring to you real people who experience real life, real situations. And man, I'm excited about this episode because I'm bringing on one of the first kids that I ever mentored as a mentor. You guys know how big I am on mentorships and how big I am on helping out my community, making sure that black boys have a good example. I met this little badass kid, man. He wasn't bad, y'all. He was real quiet, but you know them quiet ones be the bad ones, right? But man, I've watched him evolve. I watched him grow up. I watched him become a professional, take care of his business. He's 28 years old now. When I met him, he was 14, 15 years old. So I'm going to introduce to some, present to others, my man, Mr. Cory Dukes. What's good, bro?
Man, I'm gonna try to keep it. I'm gonna try to keep it straight.
No, we get a little ratchet on here, man. You know, it's the good kind of ratchet. You know, it's funny, Cory, because every year, you guys, Cory comes to my office, and I do his taxes, and so that's kind of our thing, right? You know, he comes to the office, we sit down, I do your taxes, we chop it up about life. Every year you making a little bit more money. Every year you doing a little bit better for yourself, and I'm always super proud of you. But man, you know, I want to talk about, you know, just the way the world is going right now, specifically with black men. You know, I look at you as an anomaly because you know, I feel like, and I'm not taking no credit here, so don't think that. Don't even sit back like Tim.
I mean, if you do, like, I wouldn't be mad at that.
Hey, but no, I always like to tell people, man, I throw up the oop and y'all slam it down. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a firm believer in mentorship. I'm a firm believer that once a kid or even a young man is exposed to something, once you show it to them, they can't unsee it. Yeah. Right. And so when I was a mentor, you know, I mentored at the church. Anybody know me? You know, I cuss a lot and I'm not conventional. Yeah. But that was the only place that had a platform where I could actually sit down and talk to the kids. And without me having to do it on my own. And I'll never forget, I was the youngest mentor. Everybody else was like 50.
Everybody else was 50 now that I think about it.
They were in their 50s.
It was wild.
Hey, young man, you want to go fishing this weekend? Ain't nothing wrong with fishing. But, you know, there was no relatability. You're talking about a 40-year gap on age. And I think I was like 26, 27, 28, you know. And I was young. You know, I looked young. I had my Lexus back then. I was rolling in the Lexus, you know.
I drove your Lexus.
Huh?
I drove your Lexus.
You drove it, right? You know,
you had that Lexus, and I think it was like
I had a Maxima too.
Yeah, you had that. I drove that too. Yeah, that's when I just got my license.
Yeah. And so I was just that young mentor that all the kids wanted to fuck with. You know, all the kids like, I want Mr. Tim to be my mentor. You know, we went on that retreat. And I was letting y'all do what y'all. I said, hey, listen, man, just don't make the block hot for me. Y'all can stay in the room, play your video games, chill out. I think I left y'all and went on a date. But I was smooth with it. The date was like right next door at the restaurant, man. I was like, I'm going to be right next door. Y'all held it down for me, man. I looked out for y'all. Like, y'all had a real good time that weekend, man. I went on a date like a motherfucker, man, on a church retreat, man.
Hey, no offense, but it was pretty boring.
It was a boring retreat.
And the thing is, you didn't know we was coming upstairs until we was on the floor and you was coming down the floor.
Yeah, y'all were leaving. I caught y'all trying to leave out the room. Like, damn, y'all making the block hot, man. But all jokes aside, man, I exposed y'all to a different side of life. Yeah, I showed y'all how. I showed y'all what a man was. Yeah, you know, somebody that took care of his family, somebody that made good money. Somebody that wasn't in the street or wasn't trying to embrace that street nigga shit. You know, just a person that really cared about you genuinely. I held y'all accountable. I used to cuss y'all ass out.
Yeah, you did. You did.
I used to cuss y'all ass out, man. And y'all respected that, man. And I look at all the kids I mentor, like all y'all turned out to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. You know, a couple of them young dudes, they didn't turn out to be so good. You remember that one dude that got locked up?
Man, I ain't gonna. They still got the news. If you go on YouTube, you can look up the news video.
Yeah, there was one kid that like got into some real big trouble, and it was all in the news and shit. But man, like, what was the impact of like having a mentor in your life at that age, man?
It was different because I remember like it was yesterday. Like when I first met you, I was 17 years old.
You was 17?
Yeah, I was 17. 17 junior high.
Year. Oh, okay.
Yeah, 17 junior high. You came in, you had a suit on, looked like you said you were a real estate agent, just said you just sold a house or something. And then, you know, just listen to you, I was like, okay, at least he's genuine. It's just a lot of people in your life that come that ain't genuine, because I had a few situations going on at that time where I didn't trust certain people. I didn't want to be around certain people. So when you came in, like, it was just a different vibe and a different energy, and it was like, it made me think different. So, like, I remember when I tried to apply for a job, you went with me to help go apply for jobs.
Damn, yeah. I forgot about this shit.
Yeah. I remember that. I remember driving both your cars. What else I remember?
Yeah, I used to let y'all drive.
Yeah, bro, you let everybody drive.
I used to let everybody drive because I learned how to drive when I was 12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing was,
I learned how to drive when I was 14.
Yeah, I'd rather y'all be driving my car than be out there, you know, joyriding.
Yeah. Stealing
cars and shit. Because that's what people was doing. Let's keep it real, right?
Yeah.
And so my thing was, if I expose them to it, then it won't be a mystery.
I think when I was 12, that's the first time I hot-wired a car.
Yeah.
That was the first time I ever did it.
I mean, you know, the fun thing about it is me and my cousin, we got a young joke. We got a joke. You'll probably see her in my comments from time to time. We talk about, she always say, you out there stealing cars and smoking cigarettes, because we used to steal my aunt's car. And we were 12. You know, I was 12, 11 years old. We would hop in my aunt's car and just go joyriding. I think about how dangerous that was then. And then I remember my sister, my older sister, she started teaching me how to drive because she saw the fascination. And I don't know if this was consciously or subconsciously, but I think the reason she started teaching me how to drive is because she saw I was so fascinated with it, and she didn't want me out there doing no stupid shit. So she would let me drive her car. Like she would let me drive her car. Like it would be at night too, like from Dallas, from Pleasant Grove to Plano. You know what I'm saying? Like you could take this back road. The place before the George Bush tollway was up. And so my thing was, I wanted to put y'all in situations too where y'all didn't have to feel like y'all had to sneak around and do shit either. So at least you knew when you got around me, you could at least push the car. You know what I'm saying? Push the whip around. But then you went off. Talk about your experience. Like, I mean, you went off to the military. You know, tell us a little bit more about your experience after high school.
After high school, everything was so. One thing I learned after high school, you gotta have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D, plan E, F, like all the way to Z. Because plan A was going to college, and I went to college for about. It was supposed to be a whole semester, but I only went to college for 2 weeks.
It wasn't for you, was it?
Nah, and then I did stuff I wasn't supposed to do within but I like stretched it out to a semester. So like my mom didn't know, cause she told me, she was like, okay, I'm gonna pay this semester, but after that you on your own.
Yeah.
And then like I didn't tell her like I wasn't going to classes like that. I think I even dropped one class. And then, like, I was just doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. Yeah. Like, the whole time. No, I ain't going to get into it. Because there was a lot that came with it.
We don't incriminate ourselves on the No More OG podcast.
Nah, there was a lot that came with it. But,
and you know what? Let's pause there for a second, because I think a lot of people, there's this misconception. A lot of people, you know, say that I'm too hard on men, like on social media, because I call out bullshit. And what I'm saying a lot of times is that I'm not saying that being in a young man's life or being a mentor will prevent a young man from going out there doing stupid shit. Yeah. Because I did stupid shit and I had men in my life, right? It'll soften the blow, however, because once you see the alternative to the fuck shit, you think twice about it. It's like, you know what? I really have an alternative over here. I see this dude, Mr. Tim, pulling up in a nice car, nice clothes, nice watch. I always got it. At the time, I always kept me somebody decent with me. So I ain't never had no ugly, no ugly women.
No, you did. You did.
I used to pull them, right?
Yeah.
But you see that, and it's an alternative. It's like, well, shit. If he's getting all that shit and he living legit, why the fuck I gotta be out here hustling and following this culture? And that's why I don't fuck with the culture, because I followed the culture too. I thought it was cool to do some of the shit we was doing, getting into fights and hitting licks and just doing nigga shit. And then there was no one there like me to tell me, nigga, like, there's so much more to life than what you doing.
But here's the thing about culture, is that there is no culture.
Speak on it.
It is no culture, because they say like we gotta do better for us and then do better for our people and all that. But then at the same time, if you don't do certain things, you a square. Or if you tell someone not to do something, you a hater.
You a hoe ass nigga. You a hater, right?
Exactly.
There's no accountability.
Exactly. Like, it just, when I say this, if you learn just to do you, and then like if you got people in your circle that's trying to do better as well, take care of those people. And then if those people got people they want to do as well, just do it like that. Don't do it as like doing stuff for the culture, because there is no culture. Fuck
the culture. Like I call it, I've been saying I call it the 1% of the 1%, but I think I'm gonna start saying the 1 million percent. Yeah. Essentially the 1 million percent is, it's a very small percentage of people who fucking get it.
Yeah.
They understand that all this shit that we've been taught is mostly bullshit, if not all bullshit. And I don't have to follow a certain trend or follow a certain group of people to be validated, because the validation that's coming with this, it'll fade as soon as it's given to you. It can be taken away from you, right?
Yeah.
Because the trends change, right? And then I realized that that 1 million percent people also realize that rich is flashy and wealth is quiet. Niggas who wear their money around, they don't have real money. I learned that working with this dude that owned hundreds of properties, wearing Walmart and Target clothes, taking that shit to the cleaners. He was taking his Walmart and Target shirts to the cleaners. I was just like, what's wrong with this nigga, man? And then driving the same car. He had the same car. He still got that car to this day, a 98 Lexus. And he would see me in these new cars. He finally called me out. I was like, oh, I see you got a new car. And it was like, the light went off. He said that, like, that was cold for him to say, you dumbass nigga, you spending all your money on cars and trying to look good and you fucking broke. And so once we realize that, you have to find those people. Go on. So, that 1% of that 1% is essentially the people, like, you think about in the United States, there's 350 million people.
Yeah.
1% of that, Cory, is 3.5 million.
Yeah.
1% of that is 35,000. If you can get 35,000 people to buy into what you're selling, and those 35,000 people can pay you $17 a month to be a part of your community, be a part of your network, consume your products, those people will keep your business thriving. But you'll also be able to show them how to keep their lives thriving too. And that's what you do. And I did the numbers. It's like $7.3 million if you get those 35,000 people to pay you $17 a month. Like, there's 35,000 people within a 2-mile radius of where we sitting.
Yeah.
So why do we focus so locally? Why don't we spread our shit out, right? You said you got a partner that teach classes all around the world. But that's what I wanted to show you, and that's what I wanted to show the other boys. Like, you gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
You gonna have some hit your head. But once you hit your head, you'll be able to look up and realize what it really was. So you was fucking up, and then what happened, man? You was like, all right, this ain't for me.
Sure. After that, at this certain job, I got fired from there, and then I think probably a month later, that's when I joined the Army.
Yeah.
Well, at first I didn't want to join the Army, because it was just like I was doing stuff just for other people to leave me alone. And then, like, I was like, I'll just join it. But I said, but after this, like, I can't live off somebody, about their opinion and what I should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, I don't regret, joining it, but at the same time, I would rather it be my decision.
The military, I've been on the record saying black boys don't need to go into the military unless they have a lot of discipline, because the military can be a very racist place to be. And a lot of people don't like to talk about that out loud. I'm a veteran.
Hey, I'm a veteran too.
I think every branch of the military has come out and admitted certain forms of racism. So this ain't shitting on no branches. With that being said, there's racism everywhere. There's racism in every fucking job. There's racism in every fucking municipality. But with the military, they can control your life so much to where the way they discharge you can impact the way you can make a dollar if you're leaning towards getting a job later on, right?
Yeah.
And so with that being said, though, I feel like if you need discipline and if you know how to just shut the fuck up and just take somebody cussing you out, telling you
I mean, you're gonna have to deal with that because they gonna be in your face the whole time you're there.
If you can
you there for at least 6 months,
and after that, it's 6 months to the rest of your life, bro. Like, because once you get out of training, it ain't like that.
No, it's not.
You know, it's just like a regular job. And if you fuck up, they take your money, they take your pay, But that if you can just shut the fuck up for 6 months and just learn how to, let somebody, because they used to get in our flight, man, our drill sergeant, one of our drill sergeants ended up getting court-martialed because they used to haze us. They were hazing us. They was in there whooping people's ass and my shit. But the thing, I'll never forget my homeboy. He probably even watched this too. One of the drill sergeants tried to blow up on him, and they squared off with each other.
I believe it. Yeah. I've seen stuff like that.
Yeah, they squared. My homeboy's like, "Fuck that shit! I ain't the one, nigga. I'm from motherfucking Cleveland, Ohio." They start telling you where they from when they finna beat your ass.
Yeah.
But I say that to say the military is not a bad option if you have the discipline to just shut the fuck up, do your job, go home. Do your 4 to 6 years and get out. And some people, I know people that made a 20-year career of it and have made really good money. And then you can get entitlements after the fact with housing and college and, disability if you qualify. But you went to the military and it was like when you came back, man, you were a completely different person.
Yeah, because I was ready to go home. Because I ain't never been at home. I lived in South Carolina.
Yeah.
Fort Jackson, South Carolina. Anywhere you got an address with your name on it, you live there.
Yeah.
Especially for that long period of time.
Made you a man.
Yeah. So
what did you see differently getting out your environment?
Man, really nothing because you can't really see anything.
No. I'm saying from an experience standpoint, like for me.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's like even. So when I was in basic and AIT, you just see like the basic things, but when you get used to it, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
So when you get used to where you at, it gets easier from there. Because all we really did was work out and shoot.
That's it.
That's really all you're doing is working out and shooting.
What about the people you met? Like, what type of people did you meet and how did they influence you?
I had a Haitian bunkmate. He was from Haiti, and then like you can just tell there's so many personalities. Like I was in what was it called? Like in that one room, like not a bunk, but it was just
your dorm.
Yeah. I shared it with 52 other dudes.
Yeah. That's how it was.
That's you learn what to do and what not to do very fast. Cause
it's funny because like you get all these people, and I always tell people. Nobody goes to the military when shit is going good in their life, right? It's
when shit gets worse.
It's typically the last resort. And I had a dude in my flight who had never seen a black person in real life.
For real?
This was his first time ever being around black people. Like he saw black people on TV, but where he came from, some small town, and it was like South Dakota or Montana, one of them up north. He was like, I'm just gonna be completely honest with you guys. My first time ever seeing a black person was when I got to the airport in San Antonio. And his perception of black people wasn't the best, right? And so he had to adjust who he was, right? I had to adjust just like the little things, like when we finally start going off base and shit and getting to wear our own clothes, like, niggas from Texas where we wear polo boots and crease pants. Yep. Like, don't nobody dress like that.
But I couldn't do that at that time because I went in March.
Yeah.
I went in March. And when you go in there, like that first day, we was standing outside for 3 hours in 30-degree weather with nothing but a shirt and them short shorts were.
Yeah.
Standing out for 3 hours just to go eat.
Yeah.
And then with basic training, like literally all we did, like it humbles you because you out of your comfort zone.
You completely out your comfort zone.
You really completely out your comfort zone. Like literally, everybody was writing down like on their journals like what music they want to listen to when we was able to get out and get our phones and all that stuff.
That's literally what we did. Like when we finally got a chance to go to the BX the day of graduation, like we went and bought music.
Yeah, I did too. I bought music and clothes and jerseys.
Yeah, we're out there fucking off your money, right? But that's what we all did. But no, I'm talking about that because I saw the change in you. I saw when you came back. Mm-hmm. And this isn't me promoting like people going to the military. This is me promoting growth. I saw when you came back, like you were just a different person. Mm-hmm. You were funny, mm-hmm. but you weren't immature. Yeah. There's a difference, right? You had your mindset like, Tim, I want to get a car. I want to buy a house eventually. I want to get my credit right. And I remember you come to the office and we sat down, we started working on your credit. Start doing your taxes, start making sure your taxes are right. You start saving up money, start having money. You got a job. You got how long you been on your job now?
This year it'll be 7 years.
Okay. Now I don't want you to talk specifically about your job, but just from the standpoint of having that stability, how does that feel, being able to maintain something like that on your own?
Stability is good because I've been laid off twice and then was doing temp jobs for 2 years. Mm-hmm. You know, like I did a job where it was air conditioned, did a job where they made like the Takis, the chips. Yeah. And then I did a job, I forgot what it was, but it was only for a day. Yeah. So like it was just like that unhealthy situation. It's like it just kept going and going and going.
Now let's talk about that because you're Generation Y, right?
Yeah. At least that's what I read.
Yeah, y'all are the generation of everybody should be a millionaire at the age of 25.
People say that and then they don't have no plan for it. Like you ever seen them things on Facebook?
Yeah, yeah.
They say that they don't have no plan. I'm like, bro, what's your plan? Don't just post that and then just say like, you know, one of these days.
It's kind of like the people that always say, you know, well, just pray about it. I'm gonna pray for you. Yeah, but you know, like somebody out, and I'm cynical. Y'all know me. I'm cynical. You know, if I'm scrolling through social media, and somebody's like, you know, this person was, you know, my daughter's been missing for 2 days. I can't find her. Mm. Y'all, please help me. And then you go in the comments and say, praying for you, praying for you, praying for you, praying. I be want to say, how about y'all get up and go look for it? You know
because in the Bible it says you can't just pray, you gotta do stuff too.
Faith without works.
Exactly. Right. It's a 50-50.
But our culture doesn't promote work. And y'all, you know, I think because so many people are making so much money online through content, which I ain't knocking because this is content, I think it sends a false reality to a lot of people who don't understand that aspect of how to create content. And the having a job is considered fuck nigga shit now. Mm-hmm. Oh, you working for another person? You a bitch. You know, I always think about that Dame Dash interview on the Breakfast Club. Oh, he was shitting on Charlamagne and shitting on DJ Envy. You call another man your boss. I don't call nobody my boss. And it's just like, I understood what he was saying from the standpoint of having pride of being entrepreneur, but you can have that same pride by working with someone and then having ownership in something else. Like me, I worked for a company and then I bought a house. I was able to use that house to leverage to build my business. And then I use that business to buy more property. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but again, what you just said, you had a plan for it.
There's a plan.
Like Bible, you can't just pray. You gotta do stuff too.
Yeah.
And then also with your pride, sometimes and a lot of times your pride can get in your way.
And what I noticed about you that I wish that many of the other young men that I mentor see is that you accepted and embraced the process. Yeah. A lot of people your age and my age too, I'm a millennial, it's like they don't want to go through the fire. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? People be calling me out. If I had $1 for every time a motherfucker called me and said, Tim, I need you to help me get into real estate, I tell them real estate is sales, man. It's a grimy ass game. You have to have thick skin. You got to be able to be told no. You got to be able to.
And you got to sell yourself at the same time.
You got to sell yourself. People ain't buying the house. They buying you. And it's like people go get their real estate license. They go take that old goofy ass realtor picture where they be sitting back like this and shit. And then they don't sell a goddamn thing. And then it's like, man, this shit, fuck real estate. Like, no. Don't fuck real estate. What did you do? And so when I talk to kids now, I was at a high school the other day. Guys, I want to get into real estate just like you. I said, let's talk, bro. I've been in this game 18 years, 19 years now. I done lost a lot of sleep. I done lost a lot of money. I make it look easy, but you don't see my losses. When I start breaking that down to him, his whole perception of real estate changed. It's just like, I think that people need to start embracing the process of knowing that we got to plant, you know? You got to plant the seeds. You got to nurture it. You got to water it. You got to give it sunlight. And then it's going to grow slowly. But then when it starts blossoming, then you'll be able to eat off that fruit forever. But the average person right now, my generation or yours, they don't fucking see that shit.
Yeah, but it's like it's kind of like boxing. You're gonna get punched in the face.
Oh yeah.
But eventually you're gonna get tired of being punched in the face, and you're gonna learn how to duck. And then when you learn how to duck, you're gonna counter. Then eventually you're gonna win that round.
Let's talk. You said something, win that round.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
That's how life is. You gonna get punched in the face.
Yeah.
But then eventually you're gonna get tired of it.
So why do you think your generation, my generation, just wants to show up and be winners?
So with your shirt, and I ain't knocking what you're doing right now when it says no more OGs. It's too many. There's OGs, but there's old niggas talking, and that's where we get things misconstrued.
I call them old goofies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. It's just old niggas talking. These dudes ain't OGs. First of all, I never read anywhere where you're 25. Nowadays, if you're 25, people consider you an OG. You are not an OG.
That's Boosie talk. Boosie said that.
You are not an OG, man.
OG. That's Boosie.
Yeah, you're not an OG.
He also said that we need to build our own economy. Have you seen that meme?
Nah.
He said black folks. I gotta move my shit down. Hold on, real quick. He said we need to get our own economy. You know, our own economy. That was just man. What is this nigga talking about? And what he was saying was that we need to get our own economy, and I got that, but he just kept saying economy.
Man, look, and
I met Boosie. As a matter of fact, I kid you not. On this day in 2017 is when I sponsored his event.
For real?
I was just literally saw that on social media. You know how it reminds you? It was on this day in 2017 when I sponsored his Balling for Diabetes event, and I got to meet him. A bunch of other rappers. I met Mo3 and Young Dolph on the same day.
For real?
And they both got killed within a year of each other.
I never met Young Dolph, but I met Mo3 at Dave & Buster's one time.
Yeah.
That's where I took that picture at. We was at Dave & Buster's.
Yeah. I met Mo3 and Young Dolph literally within moments of each other.
Yeah.
And then the next day we went to a school. It was me, Boosie, Young Dolph, and then I can never think of that other guy's name. He's on that work. I get that word from California. He's on that song.
You just identify like
somebody. I can't. I'm not trying to be funny if you watch the shit. I promise you. But I met him too. He was a cool dude from North Carolina. It's gonna come to me in a minute. But that was literally on today, 6 years ago. But you got to think about like a 25-year-old OG. Like at 25, nigga, I wasn't focused on being a wise person.
Me neither. 25 hit me different. As far as me like doing better for myself and getting my own spot and all that stuff. But that was pretty much it. Yeah. I was just like, look, let me just do it and I'll just figure it out later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when I moved that first year, because I moved in January and then COVID hit like in March. But there was so much money that was given to me at that time as far as tax refunds and those stimulus checks. So literally like after I got both of those, because I didn't spend any of them, I just paid like 6 months of my rent.
Yeah.
And then just kept it from there.
Yeah.
But I like it's certain things like I think like we don't, as minorities, we don't want to be embarrassed. We rather act like we know, but we really don't know. But I ain't scared to like if I don't know something, then I'll just ask a question about it because I'm not gonna act like I know. Because then I might put myself in a worse situation, thinking that I know when I really don't.
Yeah, people don't want to look dumb, and I always teach people who I mentor, like, go out there and look dumb. Like, the easiest way to learn something is to look stupid. You know what I'm saying? And you said something earlier when we were talking off camera. You know, we were talking about, you know, what's the solution for young men? Because, you know, you had a mentor growing up. Some of the hardest kids, I mean, it's really hard to mentor kids right now because, one, they want everything right now. Mm-hmm. But, two, they just be sitting in the house all day.
That's what I'm saying. You got to get them out the house. But then, like, if they don't get out the house and they are what they are, don't blame them. You gotta blame yourself because you in there with them every single day.
Say that shit again.
Like, don't blame them. Blame yourself because you with them every single day.
I made a post yesterday on social media, and I said, you know, people my age are always talking about these kids today, and I'm like, we was listening to Pussy, Weed, and Alcohol and fighting and people shooting up the clubs when I was that age. So what the fuck are we talking about? Like, these kids today are the kids that you raising. Mm-hmm. So at what point in the game does accountability become a part of the equation? And I honestly think that society, this ain't a black thing. This is a society thing. Society lacks accountability, bro. Like, but I'm harder on black folks because I'm black, because I feel like we losing in every fucking statistical category. We don't have the place or the space to not be held accountable. It's not hating if somebody tell you get your shit together. Like me, if I'm telling you to get your shit together, it's because I love you. Yeah. It's literally because I want to see you do better for yourself and not fall victim to fuck shit. And mentoring guys that's in prison, it's like all those guys say the same thing. Like, damn, man, I wish somebody would have talked to me. I wish somebody would have told me this shit at 18 or 19. You shouldn't have to be fucking 40 years old to realize that you wasted 20 years of your life. Yeah. Whether it was behind bars or whether it's just in the streets or just kind of, you know, spinning your wheels, not doing shit, man. Yeah, like, you know, I got my, me and my dad, like, got my nephew now. And the thing I love about him is, like, he's not your particular, like, teenager. Like, he wrote a paper on why high schools don't teach, not kids going to college, but kids doing trades. Yeah. He did a paper on that at school. Yeah. What was his grade? I don't know what his grade was, but he passed that 6 weeks, so that's all. I asked you that because I used to go and speak at a lot of high schools. Yeah. And then when I would go in there talking the way I talked about, hey, you don't have to go to college. You can go to a trade school. Most of remember the people that were inviting me up there were the counselors, and the counselors get credits for sending people to college. After a few times of me saying that, them motherfuckers stopped inviting me back, right? Yeah, but it's the truth though. Like if I was taught that, then like I would've went to a trade school a lot earlier. I would've got my CDL a lot earlier. Man, I'm working with a guy right now. He's gonna be on the show. He's gonna be on the show in the next week or two. He literally is teaching people straight out of high school or people like yourself, like how to get into the oil field. Oh, for real? Yeah, it's like I got it was a dude that I used to work with. He's 18. At the time he was 18, but he was working part time. And then later on, like down the line, I stopped seeing him, and I was like, man, maybe he quit. Then he just popped out of nowhere, like at 4 a.m, like where we normally clock in at. And he was like, bro, what's up? I was like, dang, man, I ain't seen you in a minute. He was like, yeah, man, I got my CDL, so they moved me over here. I was like, when did you get your CDL? He was like, a couple months ago. Yeah. I was like, wait, so you saved your money on part-times and all that? He's like, yeah. And then got my CDL. This dude has his own crib. He bought his first crib at 19. They got his own tractor and trailer, got his own dually and trailer. And then right now, I think he's on the oil field right now while other people are doing that for him. My guy, he's saying people 18, people coming out of prison, they can start off making $80,000 a year. And he's 24. He ain't even 25 yet. Now think about where he's gonna be when he's my age. Oh, he's gonna be right. It's gonna be crazy. I'm ready to see it. And instead of giving the blueprint of get high, get drunk, fuck bitches, kill niggas, is what the culture tells us to do. Yeah. Like, what if we telling people like to stack your bread, invest, start a business and build wealth? Like, that's what this whole motherfucking podcast is about. And I'm not gonna tiptoe around this shit. Y'all need to get out my motherfucking inbox talking about you need to change up your message and be nice. And nah, nigga, fuck that. I'm not gonna be nice. Y'all let these rappers talk to y'all any kind of way. Man, but I've been nice for the last. You've been knowing me for how long? At least about 12 years. Yeah, I've been super nice over the last 10 years. Like, come on, guys, hey, we need to come together. Man, fuck that shit. I'm gonna talk to y'all niggas just like these rappers talk to you. Let me ask you this: when you go online and you hear interviews and any of that, the positive interviews, you see they don't get that much views. They don't get views. You wanna know why? Because we consume that fuck shit. Exactly. But guess what? It goes back to that 1,000,000%, that 1% of 1%. I'm not even trying to. Them people ain't even my target audience. If you're not subscribing to what we talking about over here, you're not my target audience. And for a long time, I don't know if it was the way that we were raised, because most black people were raised in the church. Is that a fair statement? Yeah. Right. So we're taught to be fishermen of men, right? We taught to go out and convert people into being the worst person to the best person through religion, right? Follow me here, y'all. So I think that for me, it was ingrained in my head that I can convert people to be better people, to invest in themselves, to be better versions of themselves. And then I realized like there's a difference between black people and niggas. And there's also a difference between people that want it and who don't. And I don't know, during that pandemic, man, I retired, financially because I was good. And I had a lot of time to sit up and think about who the fuck my target audience was. And I realized that everybody's not my target audience. Like, I can't keep trying to convert niggas. I can't keep trying to convince the wrong people to do the right thing.
You can't be trying to please people.
Can't try to please people. So now I'm just like, fuck it. If you fucking with what I'm talking about, we're gonna run this bag up, and I'm gonna show you how to invest your money. I'm gonna show you how to stack your money. I'm gonna help you get your credit right. You're gonna purchase your first piece of property. You're gonna purchase your first truck. Whatever it is you're trying to pursue financially, we're gonna figure that shit out together. And if you're not on that shit, go over there to the podcast with them old washed up ass rappers that's still telling them fucking stories about shit that happened in the 90s. Go over there. That's what you like. You like that grimy shit. You like that bullshit. Go over there with them niggas. That's it.
Well, a lot of people nowadays I know who was trapping in their 20s, they doing businesses, and now they just took that dirty money and turn it into clean money.
Listen, it happens all the time. And I'm not knocking that. Banks do it. You know, you think about a lot of banks were started by bootleggers, people that was making their money during Prohibition. So we're not going to sit up here and wag our finger at anybody who lived an interesting lifestyle, if you want to call it that. I'm certainly not advocating money laundering. I want them people on my back, right? Yeah. But what I'm saying is that a lot of people have the mentality to be entrepreneurs. There's something inside of a lot of people that says, man, I can do this, right? Like, think about the shit you think about when you're driving in the car by yourself, when you're in the shower, when you're sitting by yourself. Like, you're thinking of ways to become a multimillionaire and to create a legacy for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. Now what happens when you get around somebody that actually shows you how to do it?
You want to be around them more.
You want to be around them more. And that's what this whole concept is about. Like, I'm going to put people around people that's actually out there doing this shit, that's not trying to get over on you, that's not trying to sell you some bullshit ass course that you got to keep buying into. No, we finna just get it. Yeah. That's it. And so we're going to build it brick by brick. And once it take off, it's going to take off. And I know it is. I'm putting my own money up against it. But I'm bringing people like you on here that have actually, you're the result of the action, if that makes any sense, man.
Yeah.
So what advice you got for your people, man? What advice do you have for your age group, man? Because you're doing it different. You work a job, you make good money, you don't live outside of your means. Like, what advice do you have for your people?
Well, by the time you get my age, I'm 28, so you better have figured out somewhat of what you want to do. Mm-hmm. At least have an idea of what you want to do, and then just go do it. Like, I got my CDL last year. You know, like, I almost had that for almost a year, close to a year now. But, like, you know,
your income went up like $15,000, $20,000 too, didn't it?
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
You know, you can't talk about money around black folks, man. Niggas all calling you want to borrow something.
Nope. I ain't gonna say nothing. There's one person in particular who texts me 3 times a month asking me for money.
Hey, man, let me tell you, when you can master the art of telling the person no with a smile, you'll sleep so much better. I always say, I'd rather you be mad at me for not giving you the money than me be mad at you for not paying me back.
I don't even care if you're mad at me for not giving you the money. I'm just not gonna give you the money.
Yeah.
I'll be happier with me than mad at you. But, like, even like things financially, like, you know, you gotta. And I ain't no saint either, because I'm still dealing with certain things now. But that's why I'm cleaning it up right now. Mm-hmm. I realized I had an opportunity to clean it up.
Yeah, you're going through your increase by decrease shit right now, right?
Yeah. And then when you look back on it, and then at the end of the year, you realize how much you made, and then how much you lost at the same time. It's just like, okay, we're gonna switch it up this time.
Bro, I was spending $800 a month eating out. And when I looked at where I was going, it was just fast food restaurants.
For real? Yeah. Now, it's real. What I do, it's real easy to spend.
Yeah, because you out all day.
Yeah, it's easy to spend a good $50, $60 a day.
A day. That's like a per diem. And when I was around your age is when it's like I had my epiphany, bro. Like, I rented out my house. Mm-hmm. I was 28 years old when all this shit happened. I refinanced my house, lowered my payment $300, and then rented it out for the original price that I was paying, like the $1,200. Mm. I moved out. I moved back home.
Your house was $1,200 a month at that time?
At that time, it was $12.50 a month.
Man, time's changed.
Yeah. That house has almost tripled in value too. I moved back home for about a good month, and then I found a roommate. Moved in with a roommate. I sold my Lexus. Bought that Camry. You remember that Camry I bought from old girl down the street from me?
Yeah.
That girl you went to school with?
Yeah.
Then I wrecked that and ended up buying another cash car, another Lexus. So I got rid of pretty much all my debt, bro. And then I took every single penny that I made and I started putting it back into my business. So I got an office, bought more equipment, ran ads. I just put every single dollar I made back into my business. And bro, when I tell you between the age of 30 and 37, I worked that plan like it was nothing else going. And I was able to retire financially at the age of 37 because I woke up and I said, fuck this shit. Like, I'm tired of looking rich but being broke. I don't want to be rich no more, man. I want to be wealthy. I want to have wealth. I want to be able to get up and go out of town on a Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? Like, hop on a flight. I want my kids to understand that this is normal, bro. Like, this is the standard. When the standard is poverty, that's the standard we follow. When the standard is flexing and fronting on niggas, that's the standard we follow. But if the standard is making money, if the standard is taking that money and investing, if the standard is taking those returns and buying more things that's going to better you, better your community, and then if the standard is to teach people who think the same way like you how to do the same thing, the problems that we have, the problems that we always complain about, them shits go away.
Yeah, I think people just need to act their wage. Like, you don't have to do post every day like something on Instagram about something that everybody know you're not doing.
What the fuck these niggas be celebrating?
That's what I'm saying.
And then if you say that out loud, you hating though, right?
Yeah. Because, like, I believe in two things. You can look broke and still have a bunch of money. But you can also look rich and have a bunch of money, but it depends on your mindset. That's what matters. You know?
Mindset matters. Shout out to my boy Dre in Chicago, his brand. This past week, Bank of America had a glitch and people's accounts was getting hacked. Did you see that? And I was watching people online complain about their money getting taken out their account. And I thought to myself, this ain't really got nothing to do with Bank of America. This shit is exposing a lot of niggas out here pretend like they have it because if there's a glitch in the banking system, it shouldn't kill you financially.
But you know what I learned too?
What's that?
Stop keeping your money all in one place,
bro.
I knew that early. Stop keeping all your money in one place. Because people. This is the thing with people be messing up on. I learned this early. Like, people will have their checking, their savings, they investing account all in one area.
Keep going.
And like, people, it's like, nah, don't do that, because then you get access to all of it very, very, very fast. You get a whole bunch of access to it. So you have to realize, like, okay, keep your checking right here, but go to this other bank and keep your savings over here.
A lot of people don't understand that you should not keep all of your eggs in one basket, bro. And it sounds cliche, but
the man's gonna crack eventually.
Eventually, it's gonna crack, man. I'm one of them people, man. I got so many different bank accounts.
I was talking to my partner the other day. He said he had 6.
Yeah, I have. Typically, when we travel places, I open up a bank account in that area.
Wait, what?
So, like, we went to. I've been to a few cities where I said, if I'm gonna come back here again. Like, if I go on vacation.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So it's kind of like an Air Force base. You know how, like, you're in the military. Every army, every Air Force base has its own bank. Yeah. Dedicated to that base. Mm-hmm. But it's still insured through whatever, whether it's FDIC or the NCIC, the National Credit Union, you know, up to $250,000 per person. So if you add a person to that account, then that gives you more protection. I talked about that on different podcasts. We'll go into that later. But I don't have all my eggs in one basket, bro. Like, I just don't. I just don't have my eggs in one basket, man. And a lot of people don't understand that. And then you need other investments. You need property. Yeah. You need some type of a stock investment. You need something that's going to, you know, put you in a position financially to where if one thing goes bad, then you'll be good. You need some cash on you. You know, you need some cash on you at all times. People don't understand that, man.
I know someone, I'm not going to say the person's name, but she's just waiting for a whole, she don't like her job, but she waiting for a whole different job to wait until they hiring.
Yeah.
But then like the way she's looking at it, she just put all her eggs in one basket at that one job. And I tell her like, don't do that, because you don't know exactly when they might hire. And then if they do tell you they're hiring at this time, they might already have people in position. Like a lot of these jobs already have people in position. Especially within. They already know who they want as these, like, to be there.
Yeah.
So you have to understand, like, you have to, branch out and look. Like, actually go, like, take 30 minutes and go on Indeed, look at all these jobs and see, like, who's paying more, who benefits good, and all that stuff.
And it's okay to go to different places, man. We're gonna end on this note. You can go back and talk to 18-year-old Cory as you right now. What would you tell him?
I'll tell him a lot of stuff, man. I'll tell him, man, and you're gonna bump your head.
Yeah.
But learn from it. Yeah. And then I would have told him to get his CDL at 18, then we can just figure this other stuff later.
Yeah. Get that CDL at 18, bump your head. Well, listen, man. First things first, I want to tell you I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You better buy a house this year. I'm going on tour teaching people how to buy a house. My goal is to help 1,000 families purchase their first home this year. So you're going to be one of them people, man. We say every year I do your taxes. God damn it, this is going to be the year.
Look, I'm going to buy something.
You gonna buy something, but
I'm gonna buy something. But I'm gonna travel a lot too, but I'm gonna buy something.
Man, no. Don't travel until you get the house, man. Get the house. That traveling shit, that's the cherry on top, man. You need to hustle for the cake. The cake is the property. But man, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I've seen you evolve. A lot of people can learn from Cory, man. A lot of people can learn from you because you did it your way.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what other people say to do. You didn't buy into the trends, the bullshit trends. Every time you would come to me with some stuff, I would be straightforward with you, like, man, that's some bullshit. Or, yeah, man, you should do it, right?
Yeah.
But you always made your own decision. It wasn't based on me. It was based on what you felt like was right. So keep doing that. And let's get it, man. Let's get to this money, man. But it's not the money. It's what you do with it, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see you buy some property this year. And we're gonna have a follow-up episode. And y'all, if he ain't bought no property, man, we're gonna jump this nigga in the parking lot. Well, man, where can people find you at, Cory? Do you want to share your social media stuff, or you kind of low key?
I'm kind of low key, but I will post it, and then let's
do that, man. Cory said, get up out his business, man. Well, listen, that's all we got for you today. This is the No More OGs podcast. I'm your host, Tim Jackson. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and follow. We're having real conversations with real people. We are not celebrity endorsed. It's time for us to separate ourselves from the culture that they call the culture. This is a bullshit culture that has nothing to do with our progression. So that's all I got for you guys. Y'all take care. Peace.